Hello everyone and welcome to Circuit Park Zandvoort for round 3 of the WCSLeague TCR Championship. We're at the Circuit Park Zandvoort today. As I said, it's a circuit that's been hosting Grand Prix races and other races since 1948, and today it hosts 3 races of simulator action here with the WCS League. Hello to everyone watching along. I see we've already got some chatters in the YouTube stream. VBM watching along, saying evening, smiley face. Good evening to you as well. And Mr. Conke saying, hello lads, I guess new chaos is coming, can't wait to see it. Indeed, this is a chaotic league, but in the best possible way. It's close excitement, it's very thrilling. That's the word you have to use to describe racing like this. It's largely clean. There is quite a bit of contact, although in terms of actual accidents or dirtiness, drivers do tend to remain relatively clean, which is always good to see. I'd say it's definitely one of my favorite kinds of racing, when you get door-to-door action, but no actual accidents as such. It's quite a spectacle every single time. So far this year, of course, we've been to the Hungaroring, where we had the first round, and then, of course, the Slovakia ring, where we had the second round. Zandvoort, sort of similar in a way to the Hungaroring. Not really, although it's similar in the way that it's difficult to make an overtake in some cars. Although with touring cars, they can make an overtake stick wherever they feel like it. Whatever the case, it's a tight and twisty circuit. It has elevation changes, it goes up, it goes down, it has bank corners, it has slower corners, it has faster corners, and drivers tend to either really like it or really hate it. Anyway, 6 drivers here today getting ready to take on the notorious Circuit Park Zandvoort, which I've just discovered is no longer called the Circuit Park Zandvoort. It used to be, although it is now just known as the Circuit Zandvoort, and it's famously going to be hosting the Dutch Grand Prix next year for the first time since, I think, 1985, which is quite something. Meanwhile, we're just preparing for the start of the warm-up session. Qualifying has just come to a close, and I believe that Chris Shepherd actually pipped Adam Pincers to pole, making him the first driver to beat. Wait, no, completely ignore me. I don't think Pincers taken a pole yet. I have no idea what I was just saying that for. But that is the first pole position for Chris Shepherd, so congrats to him. And he took that position with a 1:44.617, a great lap, to beat Pincers, who was just over 0.2 of a second behind. Then Slaven Stulic, Nikola Nesic, Mihailo Juric, and Ilya Brekalo. The 6 drivers that we have here today are going to be lining up in that order in just a few seconds' time. So, just a minute to go, pretty much, until the lighting sequence to start the race. They're pulling onto the grid, and we are about to get underway. So as I said, thank you all very much for tuning in today. You're about to witness some fantastic racing action. Thank you as well to my my cameraman, Mike Pearson, Mike Pitman. Sorry, I have no idea who Mike Pearson is, but that name was just on my mind for some reason. Whatever the case, here we go for the start of the race. In just a few seconds' time, we're going to get a sequence of lights, which will come on at the top of the screen, and when they go out, we will be underway, as we are now. Chris Shepherd gets away on the inside line. Adam Pincers will be on the outside, although he has had a slightly better start than Shepherd, and he actually defends from him going down into turn 1. So Pincers takes the lead, and look as well at Slaven Stulic coming around the outside, going for second position. Chris Shepherd defends it. He's going to be on the inside for the next corner at the Gerlach Bocht. And Stulic keeps on the inside line for Hugenholzbocht, as in the background background, another of the Hyundais goes slidey, but it's Pincers followed by Stulic, then Shepard. Now Shepard's back in the slipstream as they head up the hill, challenging Slaven Stulic. Over the crest of the hill, past the curbs. This is a very, very tricky corner here at Shivlak, or Shiflak it should be, sorry. Gets a little bit sideways, very nearly touches wheel onto the grass. You do not want to touch your wheel onto the grass there because there's a massive gravel trap and tire wall just waiting to catch you in front of the Armco barrier. But anyway, everyone keeps it clean. It's been a nice and clean opening lap of the race. Mihaly Juric has got through in 4th place, followed by Nesic and Brekalo. So that is the order at the start of this race, with Pincers, Stulic and Shepard out in front. Pincers already building a gap up at the front, championship leader as he is, already almost a second ahead of Slaven Stulic before they reach the braking zone. Chris Shepard sticking in behind Stulic. We're now going to get some slipstreaming going on as we head onto the start-finish straight. This is where it could all start to kick off. This is where the race could really start to be rejuvenated. But whatever the case, Shepard not close enough there to take a look at Stulic. In fact, no one close enough to make a move just yet. I really thought that someone would be, since they're still in a long line, but it doesn't appear that anything has come of that. So they've all got through in the same order that they were in at this point last lap. It's Pincers leading from Stulic, then Shepard. Mihaly Juric still glued to the back of Chris Shepard as they go up the hill, over the crest and into Shiflak again. This is where Shepard got slightly sideways last time around. Manages to keep it clean this time. Behind him, Juric and Nesic are still very, very close for 4th and 5th positions as well. I think the main battle here is that we have a chain from 2nd down to 5th. I'm afraid that Pincers is getting away a bit out in front, and Brekalo is dropping back a bit down behind as well. But aside from that, they are staying in good order. In terms of the championship, as I've already said, it is Adam Pincers who is leading it. And I'll just get up the full championship standings so I can talk you through that. Meanwhile, Nesic did have a little look at Juric that time around. And Nesic, of course, is one of our quicker drivers in the league, one of the race win challenges back at the Hungaroring, I seem to remember. And he will be hoping to come through the field. I am just loading up the championship standings. Meanwhile, Nesic did take another look at Juric that time around. Still not quite able to benefit from it. He was very, very close. It did look as if he was going to pull a move. Although not. Again, you have to be all the way alongside your opponent up into Tarzan. It's a tough corner. It's very, very banked. And as a result, it's difficult to get it right. It's difficult to get it turned in when you're making a move. Anyway, looking at the championship standings, it is currently, what the heck? Okay, apparently Adam Pincers is not leading the championship because he's classified in... Was he disqualified from all 3 of the last races at the Slovakia ring? Well, whatever the case, he appears to have lost all of his points from the Slovakia... Yeah, indeed. He lost... Okay, he was disqualified from last week's event due to unsportsmanlike language. Okay, that's a shame. But whatever the case, that puts him down into 6th position in the championship. Slaven Stulic currently leads it, followed by Juric. So Mihaly Juric in 2nd. Nikola Nesic is in 3rd place, followed by Chris Shepard. Ryan Elliott, who unfortunately is not here today, and then Adam Pincers, who very much could still win this championship. He's still got Just 20 points behind the leaders as Nesic goes for another move up the inside of Juric. This is for 4th position in this contact. They bang doors, the two Hyundais, and Juric stays ahead for the time being. That was Nesic's best chance yet, but not able to capitalise. And he will be getting very, very frustrated, stuck behind Juric as it stands. These two, of course, are championship contenders. They're fighting. They're currently 2nd and 3rd in the championship, 4th and 5th in the race. And that means that these points in this battle is very, very important indeed. That, of course, means that last time out, Stulic won both races 1 and 3, rather than Pincers, who would have won those races, and Mihailo Juric won race 2, of course. The rest of the championship, unfortunately, is made up of a lot of drivers who aren't still here. Oh, as Nesic does make the move now, goes around the outside of Juric. They make door-to-door contact again. And I was not expecting him to attempt to move there, because that's not normally a point in the track where you see it coming off. But he's on the inside for the chicane. If Juric can just hold on here, he'll have the inside. And it's vice versa for Nesic, because Nesic has the inside for the next corner, but he's made the move before the corner and gets through well in time for the Ari Leyendijk bocht and the Kuma bocht. So Nikola Nesic up into 4th position. He's ahead of his main championship rival, Mihailo Juric. Juric, of course, won race 2 last time out, but having worse fortune this time, dropping down into 5th almost immediately. Takes a look back at Nesic on the inside, although not able to gain the place. Still, Chris Shepherd is sticking to the back of Slaven Stulic as well, but not able to take advantage. Of course, the other driver we have in this race today is Ilya Brekalo, and he is 9th in the championship. Currently has 1 podium to his name. He came 3rd in race 2 at the Slovakia ring, meaning that all of the drivers in this field have podiums to their name. And Brekalo will be hoping to jump ahead of Antonio Amiento and Francesco Panabianco in the championship, since neither of those two drivers are here today. So he definitely has a potential to gain some championship position. Now, Shepherd's still putting pressure on Slaven Stulic. He needs to keep doing this as much as he possibly can, because it's easy to get distracted in a touring car. There's often so much going on that if you see a car flashing past your mirrors, often it can be really, really distracting. And as a result, the more pressure Chris Shepherd puts on Slaven Stulic, the closer he gets to him, the more chance Slaven Stulic has of making a mistake, and the less chance he has of holding onto that position. However, he's holding onto it very, very nicely for the time being, keeping it clean, doing all that he needs to do. Often it's so tough. Oh, and Juric has gone wide in the background. He's lost that 4th position. Wait, no, he was already in 5th position. He was running wide, I think, trying to pass Nikola Nesic, although not able to get close enough. And it's very, very tricky when you're on the outside. You need to be fully past your opponent by the time you get to the corner, pretty much, which Juric was not able to do there. This, of course, may well end up being the fight for 2nd place in the championship. And I expect that Adam Pincers will be trying to get involved in that fight later on in this event as well. And of course, Slaven Stulic, our championship leader so far, is making up a good tally of points if it's to stand like this, because he's currently 2nd in the race. He has the most wins to his name of anyone in this league so far. In fact, he is the only double winner so far, and he's actually won 3 races. The other 3 winners, Mihailo Juric, Nikola Nesic, and Adam Pincers. Pincers did have multiple wins to his name, but he was disqualified from 2 of them because of his offence last time out. And in terms of pole positions, Adam Pincers has 1, Slaven Stulic has 1, and Chris Shepherd has 1. So still no double pole sitter yet in this league. That is not counting races 2 and 3 when we have reverse grids and partially reversed grids. Today, of course, because we have 6 drivers, we will be doing a fully reversed grid for races 2 and 3, meaning that the order the drivers finish in now is going to be that the reversed order that they're going to be starting in race 2. So if it's to finish like this, Ilya Brekalo will be starting from the front, followed by Juric, Nesic, Shepherd, Stulic and Pincers. However, Juric is still putting a lot of pressure on Nikola Nesic in that fight for second in the championship, putting a lot of pressure on him, getting closer and closer, less than half a second behind him into Scheifele this time around. Nesic will be feeling the pressure, so that could all change. Of course, by passing Nesic, Juric will be sacrificing a grid position for the next race. He'll be dropping back 1 row on the grid. However, he will, of course, gain more points in this race, and you have to do that. You have to take points when you can get them, because you never know when points are going to be scarce later on in the championship. So the race continues, and already Adam Pincers' lead is up to 3.5 seconds. That is a huge advantage that Pincers has in that Cupra. He is fired up and racing for that victory. He needs to gain back those points if he wants to have an opportunity to win this championship. Needs to take every advantage that he has, every opportunity that he has. Meanwhile, Juric is getting closer and closer to the back of Nesic in the slipstream. Still too far back, and he's not got much time left to make that move. Just 2.5 minutes to make an attempt to make an overtake. It's very, very tough to get into that buffer. The stable buffer in a touring car is about 0.4 of a second, meaning that when you get within 0.4 of a second of the car ahead, it's very difficult to follow it through the corners because of the aerodynamic turbulent air. And as a result, you'll often see drivers sitting about 0.4 of a second or 0.5 of a second behind the car in front, just not able to get closer until the straights when they can start to slipstream, or until the braking zones when they can start to attempt to outbrake their opponents or be braver than their opponents. But through the main body of the corner and on the exits, 0.4 of a second is about the buffer that you can hope for. Meaning that if you're going to make the move, you've got to do it as quickly and as neatly as you possibly can. And that is what Juric knows, and that is what he's going to be trying to do to his opponent Nikola Nesic here. 4th place and 5th place. So far, Adam Pincers has the fastest lap of the race by a very, very long way. It's a 1:44.795. That's very fast. And I don't think anyone's going to be challenging that for the remainder of the race. Adam Pincers does tend to claim fastest laps in races like these. As we head on to the final lap of the race now, Pincers has a 4.1 second advantage. That's a huge advantage. Followed by Stulic, Shepherd, Nesic, Juric and Brekalo. But it's this fight that we are still watching, that we've been watching throughout this entire race, with Juric still stuck behind Nesic, not able to find a way through. And surely he needs to go for it, possibly into the corner that Nesic passed him at, which would be the Marlboro Bocht corner. Not able to go for a move, he's too far back. Renault Bocht is the next one. This is a heavy braking zone, but it's slightly curved, meaning that it is a difficult place to pull an overtake, as is the Vodafone Bocht, the next corner. Then down the straight over the crest of the hill towards the Audi S, the right and then the left-hander. But we have just 2 corners to go for Adam Pinces now. Pinces has driven an absolutely dominant race, passing Shepherd in the early stages into turn 1 and accelerating away into the distance. Adam Pinces is going to win by 4.5 seconds here. That is a fantastic dominant victory for Adam Pinces, the Hungarian driver. Slaven Stulic is second, Chris Shepherd is third, Nikola Nesic is fourth, just holding on from Mihailo Juric, who raced him hard the entire way, and Ilya Brekalo comes home to claim some decent points in 6th position. So that is the order at the end of the first race. The winning margin was 4.189 seconds, and we go for an advert break, but we will be back for 2 more races. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back everyone to Circuit Park Zandvoort. We have just under a minute to go until the start of the second race. Race 1, of course, witnessed a fantastic victory for Adam Pinces. This time Ilya Brekalo will be starting on pole position, followed by Juric, Nesic, Shepherd, Stulic and Pinces will have to come right from the back. Go, go, go! Brekalo gets away out in front, but Juric jumps him, I think, off the start. He gets a better run down towards turn 1, and I think Juric is going to do a Pinces and pull across to lead the race. Contact behind as Nesic makes contact with Brekalo, and they go side by side for second position. I think Nesic is going to get it as he's going to have the outside here, up and through the gallop box. And he does indeed, so Nesic claims second position in the early stages. Shepherd already up to third. Shepherd passing Brekalo on the inside of Hugenholtzbach, riding him almost to the edge of the circuit and getting through cleanly. So Brekalo's already down into 4th position. It hasn't been a good start for him at all. Now, what can Nesic do about challenging Juric for the lead? The battle for 4th place last time out has immediately become the battle for 1st as Pinces takes a look at Brekalo. Further back, tries to put our pole sitter down into 5th place already, goes to the inside. That's close, he's going to get pinched, I think. No, not quite, as Nesic takes a different line to Juric, possibly trying to get the switchback, although not getting the run, as Adam Pinces goes up the inside of Brekalo. Brekalo goes wide and drops from 1st to 6th in just a couple of corners, just half a lap effectively. It's not great from Brekalo. He takes a look up the inside of Stulic, but I'm afraid that is done and dusted. He's at the back now. And now Nesic takes another look at Juric, making sure that he puts pressure on him right from the early stages of the race, and he has more reason to do so this time. Not that he didn't have reason to do so last time, but of course this time he's not just going for extra points, but he's being challenged from behind by Chris Shepherd, who we know is fast. Shepherd, of course, was the pole sitter for this entire event. So Nesic needs to attack or be attacked here, because otherwise Shepherd is going to be on him and past him. Up towards the Gerlach box for the second time of asking. It's Jeric leading from Nesic, Shepard, Pincers, Stulic and Brekalo, the 6 drivers in this race. Nesic glued to the back of Jeric. Shepard glued to the back of Nesic. Stulic still glued to the back of Pincers as we head up the hill as well. Pincers not able to go past Shepard just yet. And the front 3 have actually built out a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of a margin in the early stages of this race. Nesic struggling to keep up with Jeric through Scheiflak that time around, but Shepard not struggling to keep up with Nesic. I'm wondering whether the VW Golf deals with dirty air a little bit better than the Hyundai. It's certainly possible, although of course dirty air doesn't really affect touring cars that much, especially compared to single-seaters or prototypes or even GT cars. Over the crest of the hill go Jeric, Nesic and Shepard. Still 1, 2 and 3. Nesic trying to unsettle Jeric by showing himself to his mirrors. Poking out to the right hand side. That was more speculative than anything, and not even that. He was just trying to unsettle Jeric. Just trying to make Jeric think that he was going to do something stupid. Because if you do that, that can really make your opponent nervous. That can really, sometimes it can even force them to wildly jump out of the way. I've had that happen before. Down towards turn 1, Shepard taking a look at Nesic. I think he was genuinely thinking about going for it then. And he may have been close enough, although deciding that discretion is the better part of valor. Adam Pincers, meanwhile, is right on them, and he's brought Slaven Stulic for company, so it's 5 for the lead now at Circuit Park Zandvoort as they stream up the hill. This is a proper train of cars for the lead in the race. Mihaly Jeric is a very, very good driver, although obviously holding these drivers up. As we head through Scheiflak again, and Jeric might run slightly wide here. Nesic is going to have a better run out of the corner. He's going to poke to the outside line. Not able to get through into turn 9, sorry. And Shepard takes a look at the inside. That might give an advantage to Pincers, who's right on top of him. Pincers on the inside, and surely that's going to be 3rd place to Adam. Adam Pincers goes through into 3rd. Makes it stick, nicely done. Took advantage of the traffic. That's one of the best types of overtake. One of the most vigilant. He certainly had his wits about him there. As Nesic again very nearly is able to squeeze up the inside of Jeric into the RDS, the second part of the RDS. Now up through Kummerbocht and towards Ari Leindeichbocht, named after the kart and IndyCar driver Ari Leyendyk. Down the straight again, Pincers taking a look to the inside, and he's going for it. And Jeric runs wide. Oh, and there's contact as Jeric comes back onto the line and finds that Nesic is in his way. Luckily doesn't get spun across his bars. That would have been very, very bad indeed. Nesic taking another look. He needed to. It's always being pushed by both Pincers, Shepard and Stulic in there. Up the hill again. The chain's even closer than it was last time around. There must be a second, splitting 1st to 5th. This is a proper touring car race here, just like the kind you see in the British Touring Car Championship and the World Touring Car Championship and any other touring car championship. And Nesic is going to run wide here, and Pincers had to back off to avoid touching him, and he does touch him, and Shepard goes into the back of Pincers as well. And on the exit, Pincers touches Nesic again. He's on the outside line. Shepard not able to gain advantage and go up the inside like Pincers did a lap ago. I thought he may be able to take a swipe at getting back up into his 3rd position, although doesn't go for it. And Pincers looks to the outside of Nesic. That's a tough place to pull a move unless he can keep it on the inside, which he does. That's a good, brave piece of racing there from Adam Pincers. Can he go around the outside of Kummerbocht? Surely not. That would be wildly successful, wildly impressive if he could, and he may end up giving a place to Chris Shepard here. because Shepard does benefit from it this time, and they might go 3 wide because here comes Slaven Stolic. And he's not quite there. He almost pulled alongside them but backed out of it. Pincers round the outside of Tarzan Bog. You can sometimes do that because it's a fast corner, it's banked. Shepard coming through as well, possibly. And they slot back into position. Oh, Shepard on the grass. Shepard on the grass, he's locked up, he's gone wide. Stolic very nearly got him. If Stolic had known that was going to happen, I have no doubt that he would have got him. But wasn't quite prepared for that. And Shepard's lost a bit of time in that as well. He's dropped to about a second off Pincers. But he's still under heavy attack from Slaven Stolic. VBN in the YouTube chat typed, oh, this is going to kick off, and indeed it absolutely did. And it's still kicking off now as Pincers almost pushes Nesic through 10-10. And Stolic almost pushes Shepard as well. Nesic himself still not that far behind Juric. I still consider it to be a 3-way race for the lead. Juric, Nesic and Pincers still extremely close and gunning for it with 6.5 minutes left in this race. So they need to make a move soon. The time is dwindling. We normally say dwindling about candles, but still. It'll very much feel the same for Pincers and Nesic here, who will both be absolutely desperate to get past Juric, and Juric here will want the time to run down as quickly as possible. Pincers makes a move and moves across to defend from Nesic, but runs wide and almost goes in the gravel. He turned in, you could tell he was trying to force Nesic towards the apex, which you can do sometimes, especially in front-wheel drive cars. Although just misjudges it and runs wide. And that was almost much worse from Pincers, because if he touched the gravel there, I have no doubt he'd have gone straight on. And that would have cost him positions to both Shepard and Stolic, surely. And Shepard and Stolic have caught right back up to them again, look. Shepard and Stolic are getting involved almost. And once again, it's a 5-car chain for the lead. And that's due to that close scrap into turn 1. Pincers less than 0.2 of a second by Nesic as I speak. You don't get much closer than that. As they head through turn 11 and down towards the IDS. Well, I should say up and then down towards the IDS, because you go over the crest of a hill. Right-hander, Pincers going through. But he's going to be on the worst line on the exit, which may turn into the better line, because the Kuma booked is a right-hander. And Pincers is going to go through this time. He's not on the outside like it was a lap ago, and Shepard might follow him through. Shepard might follow him through. They touch lightly. And now it's a drag race down the front straight between Pincers, Nesic and Shepard. Shepard in the slipstream of Pincers. They're both trying to mug Nesic. And Nesic might just hold on around the outside here. He's not giving up just yet. Pincers gets the drive in the yellow car. More contact between Shepard and Nesic. More contact between Nesic and Pincers. Nesic gets very sideways. Pincers comes out in second place. Nesic third and Shepard fourth. And Stolic tried to get involved in all of that as well. Up the hill, and this is hugely unpredictable. This is a very, very unpredictable race. The top 5 could come out of this in any order. Towards turn 9. And then turn 10. 2 right-handers. Shepard taking a look on the right-hand side of Nesic. That's where he needs to be. And he needs to get this done quickly, because the next corner is a left-hander. Nesic ducks back through. Contact from behind. Stolic trying to get involved as well. They touch again on the exit. That could have been a lot worse. It looks as if Shepard was going to get sandwiched into a spin. Although just about gets away with it, and now Storlich tries to turn in, unsettles Shepherd, and Shepherd will feel like that was a bump and run, I expect. But he manages to keep the position, says, oh no, not like that. And keeps the place. That's well done from Shepherd there. I was sure that Storlich was going to gain that place, but he doesn't. And now Pincez is right back on the tail of the leader, Mihailo Juric. He's got 2 laps left in which to do it, in which to pull the move if he's going to go for a double win. That would be very impressive from 6th and last place on the grid. Up and through the Galgenkopf corner, and the Hugenholz box is the left hand, who's now within half a second of him. So Pincez is gaining on Juric, hand over fist. Cutting through the air like a hot knife through butter. Slipping closer and closer to Juric. Alarm bells will be ringing in Juric's head as he sees the bright yellow Cupra just behind him. And this, oh, Pincez gets a better run. Juric will have the inside, but Pincez got a much better run there. And he's going to get a better run again out. And look in the background as well. Actually, don't look in the background because Pincez is about to go for a move up the inside of the IDS. Very nearly touches Juric. Also in the background, Storlich has passed Shepherd, I think. Oh, and Shepherd spun. And he's in the gravel. Oh no. Chris Shepherd in the gravel. He gets the wheels spinning again. Don't get beached. Come on, Shepherd. Pulls it out of there. And Pincez, meanwhile, is going for the lead. Adam Pincez going for the lead down towards turn 1 on the final lap of the race. It's pretty much now or never for Adam Pincez. Has Juric left it too late to brake? No, he hasn't. Juric keeps the lead for now. Pincez knows that it's now or never. And Juric too will know that he's got to fend off Pincez if he's going to hold this win. Pincez going for his 3rd win of the season, his first official win. Juric going for his 2nd because he won race 3 at the Hungaroring. And it's so close as they go towards the middle sector of the track. Pincez tries to duck underneath him for the right-hander. That was a move that well and truly could have worked, but didn't because he wasn't quite close enough. Now watch as Pincez sets himself up for the best possible run out of turn 11. Down towards turn 12, he'll be in the slipstream. This could be his last opportunity. He's got to go for it here. He's close. He goes to the outside. That's going to turn into the inside. If he pulls this off, it's going to be spectacular. He tries to run Juric to the edge of the circuit. He's got it on the final lap of the race in the final sector. Juric tries to come back at him. Juric now needs to try to set him up for the slipstream, but I think it's going to be too little too late. And Adam Pincez pulls off a fantastic overtake and a fantastic drive to win 2 out of 2 at Zandvoort. Crosses the line. That is fantastic for Adam Pincez. Mihailo Juric comes 2nd. Nikola Nesic just finishes 3rd. Storlich is 4th. Brekalo is 5th. Chris Shepherd is going to cross the line in a lonely 6th position after an error or a collision that we did not see, or at least I didn't see. I don't know if you saw it. Definitely a shame for Chris Shepherd, but what a drive from Adam Pincez. What a move, what a driver. And that was really good there. He won it by just 0.376 of a second. And again, we go for a short advert break, but we will be back for race 3 in just a few minutes time. So once again, do not go anywhere. Welcome back everyone to Circuit Park Zandvoort for the final race, race 3 out of 3, starting in just a minute's time. Ilya Brekalo will once again start from pole position and will hope to do better than his first 2 races, which haven't exactly gone well for him. He lost out and dropped to the back on the first lap last time around, but he will be hoping to get back up through the order this time, to keep his position at the front. He will be chased down by a pack of 5 other drivers, and once again, Adam Pinces will have to come from 6th, but he did that last time out, and we saw that he can still pull off a win. It's going to be Shepard on pole, followed by Brekalo, then Stulic, and it's go as we head down towards turn 1. Shepard gets the best start. No, Brekalo gets the best start. He jumps Shepard off the line, and it looks as if he may get the lead into turn 1. He does. He pulls over and leads through Tarzan Corner. Shepard is second as they head up the hill. Nesic and Stulic are side by side for third. Shepard takes a look for the lead but doesn't quite go for it yet. Brekalo will have the lead into the first or the second heavy braking zone. The first left-hand heavy braking zone. Now up the hill they go. Pinces already making a move on Juric in the background. There is a points bonus for if you get 3 wins in a row. So Pinces will be gunning for that. He'll know that rule, I expect. And he will be going for the turkey, the hat-trick of wins here at Zandvoort. If you can do it twice, you can do it a third time, but that's not going to help because he gets into the back of Juric and slips sideways. Although since they're so bunched up, I don't think that's going to affect him in the grand scheme of things. And our leader's off. Brekalo went off. He was leading the race, but he's gone off into the gravel, and he's dropped to the back again. That's a huge shame for Brekalo. He seemed to be doing a lot better this time. But our leader has dropped it into the gravel and dropped to the back. Now Shepard is going at it with Stulic, who dives to the inside. There's contact. Stulic lucky not to rotate. And Shepard keeps the lead of the race, followed by Stulic and Nesic. They almost went 3 wide down into the chicane there, the Audi S. I'm not sure what happened to Brekalo there. Maybe he just made a mistake, or maybe he got a bit of a nudge from behind. I'm not sure, but I'm going to take a quick look back on the replay if I can. Down the straight, we're going to get another dose of slipstreaming. Stulic not close enough to attack Shepard. Nesic not quite close enough to attack Stulic. Pinces does take a look at Juric, but doesn't quite get through. He needs to start making up moves as quickly as possible. And Pinces, of course, would have hoped for Brekalo to stay out in front, so that his rivals would have had one more car to overtake before getting some clean air. But Pinces not quite going to get that luxury. Needs to put in more work to get through to the lead of this race. His first target is Juric. But Juric, of course, still in a fight with the cars ahead of him. Once again, it's a 5-car chain for the lead, just as it was in the last race, with Shepard leading from Stulic, Nesic, and then Juric. Stulic is going to get a... Oh no, looked like he was going to get a better run, but he got over the curb. Nesic going very, very wide towards 10-11 this time, and Juric took a look on his inside, where he nearly made contact. Stulic gets a better run over the crest of the hill, side by side with Shepard on the outside, although as we've seen so many times, that's actually a good line to be on for the next corner. He makes contact with Shepard, he tips sideways, he gets touched from behind by Nesic as well, and that's going to give Juric a chance to get through. They're going 3 wide in the background with Pinces on the outside, and after all of that it's going to be Shepard, Stulic, then Nesic, Juric and Pinces, although Pinces not satisfied with that, going alongside Juric through the Ari Lyondike box. Now some more slipstreaming kicking off. It's all 6 for the lead because Brekalo's caught them back up again. Any of these 6 drivers could win this race here, depending on what happens. It is so close. Now up the hill, past Gerlach box, towards the Hugenhof box again, and back up the hill through the sand dunes Shepherd under attack from pretty much everyone, chasing him down, forcing him forwards. And Shepherd, of course, while he was very, very quick in qualifying, took pole position, just doesn't appear to have the same kind of race pace today. Ryan says, wish I could have made it. I reckon that's Ryan Elliott in the YouTube chat. Yeah, shame you couldn't make it today. You would have had a whale of a time, and I have almost no doubt that you would have been fighting in this chain at this point in time as Pincers takes another look at the inside of Jurich. Although that's going to be the worst position to be in into the chicane. So he's going to swap sides now and go for it on the other side instead. Goes over the curb. Very nearly touches the back of Jurich as he did on the first lap of the race. And with less than 10 minutes remaining in this race, Pincers would have hoped to have been well and truly past 5th position by now. Although he's still got time. Still got a long slipstreaming chain of cars in front of him. And it's full steam ahead as they head down the straight. Breckelow's now dropped slightly behind them, but still it's furious between Pincers and Jurich. Pincers looked as if he was going to dive to the inside. Quite surprised he didn't, but Jurich left his braking too late, and now Pincers gets the gap. And now Pincers gets the drive, and now Pincers gets the position. There we go. Jurich not going to give it up. He's back on the inside. Pincers runs wide. I believe he took a slight touch of the curb and kicked it sideways, and that is going to be infuriating for Pincers because Jurich has got straight back past him again. All of Pincers' hard work in getting past Jurich undone in the fraction of an instant, and he's going to have to do it all over again. Is the pressure possibly getting to Pincers slightly here? That's definitely a potential. And he seems to be getting just slightly frustrated behind Mihailo Jurich. And who can blame him, really? He needs to be in front of him if he wants to claim that points bonus. Trying to run around the outside of him there, that's not going to work. Meanwhile, I think Nesic made a slight mistake because he's dropped back slightly from Stulic and slightly towards Jurich in all of that. Meaning it's just Shepherd versus Stulic for the lead, but look at Pincers going up the inside of Jurich. Ah, they make wheel-to-wheel contact through the second corner of the IDS. Pincers again will be on the inside. And surely he's got it done and dusted now, unless Jurich can come back at him. That's not going to help because Jurich is on the grass. But that does mean that he's going to get a full face of slipstream down the pit straight. Not going to be able to challenge back, so that is Pincers' position to lose now. And what can he do about catching Nikola Nesic and going for a podium position? I'm more interested at the minute as to whether Jurich can get back past him again, because Jurich obviously still not giving up. And Breckellow again has caught them back up again. Breckellow appears to have pace at times, although he's inconsistent. His fastest lap so far has been almost as fast as Pincers, in fact faster than Jurich's, but he's just proving a bit inconsistent. He needs to work on that for the next race. One of only 2 Volkswagen Golfs we have here today alongside Chris Shepherd. We have 3 Hyundais, the Hyundai proving to be the most popular car in this series. Stulic, Nesic and Jurich have the Hyundais. 3 drivers ending in itch. Jolly good. Adam Pincers, of course, the only driver this series to have taken the Cup rut, and it's suiting him well, as he already is challenging Nesic. So far, the first lap of the race is set by Chris Shepherd. He's the only driver under 145, and that is because he has that clean air at the front, of course. He's not having to fight with anyone. Although he's also a very, very fast driver. Possibly the fastest, you could argue, as he took pole going into this round. Now Pincers again gets the slipstream of Nesic, and he's within 1/10 of a second, so surely he's going to go for it. He bump drafts him. He bump drafts him down the straight, and that might end up losing him that position, actually, because if he hadn't touched him from behind there, he could have have pulled out of the slipstream and got the slingshot effect. I think that was a slight mistake there for Adam Pinces. Maybe just not pulling out quick enough. Bump drafting only really tends to help you in pack racing, and this isn't pack racing. Up the hill towards Shy Flag, not usually an overtaking opportunity. It's a long sweeping bow of a corner in which Adam Pinces just has to stick behind Nesic, try to set himself up for turn 10. Oh, contact! He touches the back of Nesic. Nesic is going to slither wide in all of this. A few too many mistakes for my liking for Pinces in this race 3. His first 2 races were pretty much flawless, although this one not going his way just yet. Challenging for the podium still, though. As he weaves all over the back of Nikola Nesic. He's still got Juric on his tail end as well. So once again, it's attack or be attacked. We've seen that Juric is one of the most aggressive overtakers in the field. So he's got to go for it, surely. Onto the back straight again. He is less than a tenth of a second behind Juric. And again, Nesic, and again he bump drafts it. This time tries to sweep around the outside of Tarzan, tries to keep the power on the outside. That's going to give him a good run up towards the Gerlachbocht. And he goes through. A great move from Pinces. I wasn't sure that it was going to work, because around the outside of Tarzan is quite a long route compared to the inside. But he makes the move stick, and that was a really good piece of driving there from Pinces. But he does have 4.4 seconds to gain if he wants to get Slaven Stolic for second. I don't think he's going to be able to get up into second position unless Shepard and Stolic collide potentially. I should assure you that I am well and truly touching wood. Not that I'm superstitious or anything. But you know that I'm going to get the blame for it now if they make contact. Now Juric taking a look at Nesic too. These two just can't stop racing each other today. They've been together in races 1, 2 and 3. And now once again they're fighting over 4th position just as they were in race 1. With Juric right up behind Nesic. It's a 3-car chain for the time being, but I don't imagine Pinces is going to want to hang around. He's going to be putting his pedal to the metal right now. And off he goes down the straight. I don't think he'll have much of a slipstream from Slaven Stolic and Chris Shepard in front just yet. The distance slipstream tends to come into effect when you're about 3 seconds behind your opponent ahead, although the real fast-paced slipstream is only about a second. And we have 2 laps remaining. Here at Zandvoort, it's Shepard still leading by Stolic, and then Pinces, Nesic, Juric and Brekalo. Still relatively close for the lead. They're not fighting just yet, although they are not too far apart. Pinces, Nesic and Juric still fighting for 3rd, 4th and 5th. A little further back. And Ilya Brekalo is in 6th place, about 3 seconds behind Juric. The gap between Stolic and Pinces is still 4 seconds at the time being. The race is also on for fastest lap of the race, as Pinces is within a tenth of a second of, he's actually half a tenth of a second behind Chris Shepard in terms of fastest laps. Although of course, touring cars do tend to eat up their tyres pretty quickly, especially front wheel drive ones. So I'm not sure that the tyres are going to have enough life in them to go that quickly anymore. As we head now very nearly onto the final lap of the race, as we have just 1 minute left on the timer until the checkered flag starts being waved. Chris Shepherd now starts the final lap. Storlich made a mistake on that last lap. He dropped back 6/10 from Shepherd. Excuse me, got a little case of the hiccups there. And now the gaps have really started to spread out, so Shepherd just needs to make sure that he brings it back in one piece, keeps it steady. He came last in the last race after running through the gravel. Didn't see how it happened, but he will be very, very relieved to find himself in first position on the last lap here at Zandvoort. He, of course, was put on pole position due to finishing last in the last race. Although, of course, was passed into turn 1 by Ilya Brekalo, who then quickly went off. And Chris Shepherd has held it steady. He's also got the fastest lap of the race, which is something to brag about. And of course, he claimed the overall pole position heading into this race. Slaven Storlich has driven well as well. I believe that Storlich will still come out of this round with the championship lead. He's claimed 2 second places, and I can't quite remember where he finished in race 2, but I know it was relatively high up the order. Meanwhile, final 2 corners once again for Shepherd. He's pulled out to 2 seconds ahead in the lead. And Chris Shepherd has driven flawlessly to claim his first win of the season. Chris Shepherd does it at Zandvoort. Second place goes to Slaven Storlich. Third to Adam Pinces, who claims a fantastic triple podium, and you have to say, is driver of the day. Nikola Nesic, 4th position. Mihailo Juric is 5th. And Ilya Brekalo comes through to claim 4th position. So the winning margin in the end was 1.546 seconds. A really, really decent advantage from Slaven Storlich there. But a great drive from Shepherd, Storlich and Pinces. And a very exciting set of races once again, as we always see here with the WCSLeague TCR Championship. That is the WCSLeague Esports RaceRoom HM Engineering WTCR Week 3, and thank you very much to SimNews TV and to HM Engineering for supporting us, and thank you everyone for tuning in on the YouTube stream, or if you're watching us afterwards, that is okay as well. Congratulations to all the drivers who took part and won or raced or scored podiums, and thank you to Mike Pitman, the wonderful cameraman and streamer who brought this event to you today. I've been your commentator, Caitlin Penny, and we will see you again in just 1 week's time, when we will be racing at, let me just find out what track we are racing at. We will be at the Red Bull Ring. So, an exciting track with history, with prestige, with overtaking opportunities, and with difficult corners. I definitely would not miss that. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you then. Good night.